Good morning. Welcome to the fourth episode of On the Mic. My name is Mike Albee, and this is Jonathan Solorzano. We're giving free legal information based on frequently asked questions by clients of ours. Please understand that we're not intending and we are not forming an attorney-client relationship. We're merely here to help you out. Today, we're talking about why you need a will. Jonathan, do you have a will in place?
I do. And I got my will in place a couple of years ago when my whole family did it at the same time. I think it's important, regardless of your age, to have something in place because it's an instrument that you can modify as time goes on. What about you, Mike?
I do have a will, and the reason why I have a will is because of my daughter, Carly. We talked a few episodes ago about guardianship, and the most important thing to me is that once I die, she has someone that's going to be taking care of her. Well, I should say if I die by the time she's turns 18 or is emancipated. It's important. And a lot of us have younger kids, and we need to know that they're not going to go become wards of the state after we die. In addition to that, there's also resources and there's reasons why you want to avoid probate, or which is why you might want to trust or some sort of instrument that's going to make sure that your assets are protected after you die.
That's very important, especially in protecting your assets from the state. Like Mike said, in a lot of circumstances, you don't want your family to go through the probate process. You want an expedited, professional way of dealing with your assets, and that's why it's important to consult an attorney. When I was in law school, we did a thing called Wills for Vets. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was a good experience because you get to help veterans with their wills. And just it goes to show you that everyone can benefit from having a will.
That's exactly right. One thing people don't know in Arizona is that Arizona recognizes holographic wills. A holographic will is a will that you sign on a sheet of paper or you write out, and you actually have that, and that can work in probate court. It's important for people that might not have the resources to go have an attorney draft up their official will or trust. So do that, and then I would also suggest to consult with an attorney just to make sure that it's in place, because again, the last thing you want is for you to pass or for you to die and then your family to have to be dealing with all of this court stuff, because at the end of the day, it's complicated and they should be allowed time to grieve.
Hey Mike, can you help us break down wills a little bit? For example, I know in wills, the language you use is very important because a single word could make the meaning of the will change, or the person benefiting from it. And talk to us about signatures. In Arizona, will they accept a scribble, or does it have to be the signature that matches your ID? What kind of information can you give us on that?
So I would say the biggest thing that I receive, or the biggest question I receive from clients, has to do with the signature, and it has to do with whether it has to do with capacitation. And the court's very specific as far as when somebody can sign their will, and you have to have the proper mindset, and you have to be in the right mindset and lucid to be able to sign your will. So I have a number of people that call me and say, hey, my grandmother's 89 and she's in the hospital, can we get her will done? The question at that point becomes much more complicated because we have to have a doctor's consent stating, or it's important to have a doctor's consent or affidavit stating that that person was lucid during the signing.
That's very interesting. And also, what about for children? Can children who's 18 years old or younger have a will?
Not that I know of. There might be something else in place, but if you are young, kind of like with financial planning, like it's one of those things that nobody does until they're 89 and then their deathbed, but it's probably important.
So maybe to protect your kids, you could have a trust in place where this trust could, protect them until they turn 18.
That's exactly right.
With property and income.
That's exactly right. So, thanks again for listening to the two of us give you legal information. We'll be back next week with a brand new topic.